Afternoon everybody. Today is Sunday the 26th of November 2023 and this is attempt number 4 at Flosstube number 7. I'm Lindsay, the Cheshire Stitcher, both here on Flosstube and over on Instagram, which hasn't got much on it yet because I'm not fully used to it. Oh, there we go. This is a channel mostly about cross stitch, but other crafts will appear occasionally, mostly bead weaving, which at the moment I can't share anything because it's all for Christmas gifts. Oh, pardon me. Right, today I have got some PhDs, I've got some finishes, I've got an FFO, I've got some new starts, I've got a proud mum moment, I've got some plans, and I've got some haul. So we'll get started, shall we? If you're new here, welcome. Should have done that first. I don't know. Tell you, if I had a brain, it'd be dangerous. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If you've not already done so, I'd really appreciate it if you liked my videos and subscribed. I'd love to get to 300 by Christmas. I'm at 275, so it's entirely doable. So that would be nice if you could do that for me. But, you know, if you don't want to, you don't want to. It's fine. It's no problem. Right, so let's get going with the PhDs, shall we? So, first of all, my giraffes. There we go. I actually had to email Love Quilts and pull out of this one because there was no way I was going to get it finished. It needed to be finished by Thursday, maybe Friday, so I could get it washed, pressed and sent, because the deadline for it was today and it was just not going to happen. There was no way I could do it without spending all day every day stitching, and that's just not possible. As much as I'd love to be able to do it, I can't. So you may remember though, when I was last time, might have been last time before, I was saying about there was 902 in it and I was a bit unsure. Well, actually, I've put the 902 in and it looks just fine. It's sort of all these darker bits all over that you can see. So I will finish it and I will send it in. It'll go in as an any child square, or I may hang on to it until another quilt comes up with giraffes on it. So that pattern is from JPCrossStitch patterns, I think, something like that. I'll put the link down below for you. Next one that I have actually worked on this time, hadn't last time if you remember, I was concentrating on Sparkly's model, is my commission piece. There you go. As you can see, I've I'd already started. I've done a bit more restitching where I had to frog, but I have started to fill in here. I haven't fully taken it off the Q-snap, so it's a bit awkward to hold, just so that, you know, I was feeling lazy and didn't have to rearrange it all when I came to pick it up again. And I've done some work down here as well, but sort of from here diagonally across, that is all finished. There is nothing else there to do now. So I will be working on her again this week. I will get some more done in this centre bit here, and hopefully a little bit more down there, that restitch. Oh, I also did this bit of the border down here as well. Obviously that goes all the way down, but I've only done a small section of it, partly to get my stitch count up for something else. And my other one is my black sampler, November sampler, but this is going in the bin. I've already restarted it, which I'll show you in a minute. A couple of reasons. I made a mistake. What a surprise. Handy cheek. Here, there should have been a gap of 2 between this border and that border. Well, when I was working here, I realised that there was only one thread missing when I came to start this bit. It was one thread out. And I thought, well, that's not so bad, I can live with that. I then realised that it's actually one full square and one thread out. So this should have a gap of 2, and there's literally there's one thread between the two of them. So I was chatting to Jeanette about it when I discovered the mistake, and she suggested I throw it in the bin and restart it. Something that I've always been reluctant to do, because when I first all started, money was really tight. So I was always reluctant to throw something away because of the money that was invested in it. Well, things have changed. Money's easier, more, it's not brilliant, but it's better than it was back when I started. So, and not only that, I wasn't really loving the fabric. I bought it years and years ago before I sort of really discovered that I wasn't a huge linen fan. But it looked ideal for this, so I picked it. But as I say, it's not been working for me. And discovering the big mistake that would involve ripping out all of that border there. So all of this would have to come out. I've decided I'm just going to bin it. But if anybody has this pattern and would like to take this on, I'm quite happy to send it to you. I'd feel a bit better about it then, but otherwise it's going in the rag bag that's going to go to the charity shop. I always support my local hospice shop. They take rags, any rags, so knickers where your elastic has gone, socks that you've worn through, put them in a bag, take them to a charity shop because they have a rag man. It all raises funds for them. My preference is the hospice shop. That's what it's looked like. Take your teeth out. That's what it'll look like when it's finished. So I've come over and I've started this side. So roughly halfway is sort of about here. And I thought, I didn't fancy redoing these again that I'd already done. So I restarted it. So I am now working it on a piece of 32 count Murano. This is from Sparklies. What a surprise. If I tilt it like that, you can the sparklers are showing up. This is Champagne, one of the colours that she can no longer dye because of dye issues. But I had a root round in my stash and I was hoping for a 36, but I couldn't find any that worked, that I was happy with. So I've gone for this. I'm really happy with how it's looking now. Excuse the hanging thread, but I put my project away, or put it down, when I'm going to bed. I'm not bothered if there's a thread partly done or a motif's half done, or it doesn't bother me. So I just put it down and go to bed. Following day I picked up something else, so hence the reason there's a thread. So those are my, oh excuse me, itchy neck. Those are my only PhDs this time. In case you're new here and don't know what a PhD is, it's a potential happy dance. I don't refer to my projects as whips. I prefer to... So I told you I need to take my teeth out. I refer to them as PhDs because we'll do a happy dance when we're finished. We either do it on the outside or we do it on the inside, but we all do a happy dance. So, hence mine are called PhDs. So, I have a couple of finishes to share with you. You may remember in my last video I'd said I was hoping to get this finished before I recorded, and it didn't happen because I realised that I'd left out this up here, which until I backstitched it I didn't realise, it didn't dawn on me what it was. It's a packet of needles. How I didn't realise that till I'd stitched it, I don't know, but I'd left that out. And because I thought I only had this down here to finish. and as I say, that wasn't the case. So here it is now. I did finish it later the same day that I recorded my last video. This is a piece of, I think, 28 count, I didn't check, from the oddment box of sparklies. So it could be just using up a bit of dye that was left in the pot, it could be an odd shaped piece of fabric, it could be an experimental piece, it could be a piece that's got a dye spot on it or something like that. I have no idea. I just saw it at some point and thought, oh, I like that. I'm going, I'll take that home with me. And I found a use for it. How I'm going to finish that, I have no idea. But seeing as I'm not a big fan of finishing, you know, it could just end up in the box. In case you're wondering, that box is, like I said last time, is a really useful box, and it's got probably well over 200 things in it by now. Some things I've stitched because I wanted to stitch them, not because I could ever see them on my wall. And not only that, I'm more of I stitch because I enjoy it, not because I necessarily want to finish something and have it on the wall or made up in some description. But that's just my preference. So my other finish is my stitch buttons. You may remember I've been doing this 25-ish stitches a day. It was a kit that came with the thread, which is a handdyefibers.com silk, and the Scrabble tile holder for when it's made into buttons. And here it is. I've loved doing this. It's over 1 on 32 count Silver Moon Lugana. So it was lovely. It was a real nice joy, and you can see the variegation in the thread is just beautiful. Really, really thoroughly enjoyed this. I had to do it a little bit at a time because I've had it over 1 on 32, like I say, on 32 count. Not something I would normally stitch. Sorry, Lizzie's come to visit. So I just need to get them made up into the buttons. Now I have got the buttons, but because I prefer to stitch rather than finish, I've got to be in the right frame of mind to finish. So here's Lizzie, my little mad cat. Go on then, down you go. So yeah, she's 15 months old, something like that. I've got to get her rearranged at some point. She's currently wanting a man or a male, so she's not going out anywhere. She doesn't go out anywhere. She's a house cat. Right, so next up I have an FFO, my little snowman. You may remember him. I finished him last time. He's from Pinker and Pumpkin Blogspot. He was a lovely little thing to stitch. I thoroughly enjoyed him, and I have been browsing, and there are more on there that I will do at some point. He's got a fair few sunflower ones, so I'll be doing a few of those. I've just put him in a little 3-inch hoop, which was part of my haul from Harrogate last weekend. I just need to go and dig in my stash upstairs for a ribbon to hang him now, and he can go on my tree next week. It's a shame I can't get a 2-inch hoop. That's a 3-inch hoop. I've not finished the back yet. So right, on to new starts. One of them technically was my Quiet Please, my Black Sampler November. Did I say that was? I can't remember if I said the Quiet Please, the stitching one, the one that I've restarted. That was for Black Sampler November. The pattern's from DaliyPatternPost on Etsy. I'll put the link down below. So, what did I say? I told you if I had a brain I'd be dangerous. So, I had a new start last weekend with Jeanette. We, as you know, we stitch something each weekend together. So this time we're doing Winter Bear from Nora Corbett. If anybody knows where I've put the cry knit, will you please let me know? Because I can't find it. I've put it somewhere safe. Yeah, you know, that's safe, you can't find it. But I've also put that with it. So I don't know where it is. I've got to get it found in the next couple of weeks, otherwise it's not going to get finished. I've got everything else apart from the Mill Hill beads, which I don't like Mill Hill beads as a beader. I don't think they're very good, but each to their own. I know lots of people use them, and that's absolutely fine if they like them. I personally have always found them to be a bit inconsistent, but that's perhaps because I'm a beader and I'm used to consistent beads. You know, by consistent I mean they're all the same size, they're all the same shape, the hole's all the same size, and I've quite often found with Mill Hills that's not the case. So he's our latest weekend stitch. We decided between us that we'd like to have something done. We've got a big long list off our list, but something that we stood a reasonably good chance of finishing before the end of the year. So here's mine so far. I'll put my board behind it. There we go, that's a much better idea, the colour. I'm using Sulky White. I think my needle minder is a Caterpillar cross stitch one, but I couldn't swear to it. That's how far I got. I did have to... Oh, that's going all funny. Ooh, it's probably because it's getting a bit dark out. But this is attempt number 4, so, you know, I've been at this for about 3.5 hours now. Various things keep happening and going wrong, and my iPad's going, you've got too much stuff in me. Even though I deleted loads before I came on, before I started, but never mind. Anyway, this is 32 count Murano. Again, it's a sparkly one, but it's not from Sparklies. This one is a Colour Cascades. It's called Whole Lot of Love. It was a Christmas gift off a friend a few years ago. After I'd split up with my ex-partner, it came up in conversation that I would be on my own at Christmas. And before I had a chance to say that, you know, I would go to my parents for the day, I was summarily told that, no, you're coming to my house, that's it, end of discussion, there's no discussion. Anyway, that particular Christmas, she gave me this. It's a lovely piece of fabric to work on. I did have to use my magnifier though, because I did find it a little bit of a tight weave. Whether that's just the way it is or I don't know, but I'm enjoying it. It's a bit easier now I've done some of it. My next new start is this one. You may remember this. I've shown it in a couple of videos now. I'm stitching it for my eldest daughter's partner for Christmas, possibly his birthday. Haven't decided which yet, because his birthday is the 26th of December. I said November. That's today, silly girl. 26th of December, so Boxing Day. So he may get it as a birthday present. He may get it as a Christmas present. I'll see once it's finished. I changed the fabric on this. I'm using Colour Cascade. No, not Colour Cascades. That's the other one, you silly girl. Kiwi Illusions Cloudburst. 28 count Lugana. So I started him on Friday night. And I got most of this done. Sort of here, which is his eyes. His eyes go in this bit gap here. I took it with me yesterday. I went on a stitching day, well, afternoon yesterday. Took this with me and got a bit more done. Again, there's a hanging thread because I went to bed last night with it partly done. Now, this stitching day yesterday, I had a lovely surprise. I'm sitting there and this lady walks in and I'm thinking, I know your face. Why do I know yours? Why do I know your face? And then all of a sudden it clicked. It was Sally from Flossie Sews and Grows. Lovely surprise. So I'm going, oh, I was watching you this morning. Oh, but it was lovely. She's really, really nice. She's as nice in person as she is on her videos. And while we were there, she had a finish. So I'm sure when she does another video, you'll all get to see it. But we didn't have a bell to ring because at retreats the bell's rung if somebody finishes something. We didn't have a bell, but she did get a lot of woohoos. So yeah, another person that was there was Kate from Fabrics by Crafty Kate. I showed my partner a picture last night that had been posted, and he went, "Oh, is that the Kate you know?" I went, "No, it's a different Kate, but just to confuse you even further, she also dyes fabric." And he's like, "Oh, right, okay, all right." So yeah, he's a bit more confused now than he was before. So I'm going to have to go this Kate or this Kate if I ever refer to him in conversation again. So that's that. My proud mum moment. My youngest daughter works in a doctor's surgery, and they were one of the first ones to start doing vaccinations on the Wirral for COVID, and her boss wanted everything keeping. Obviously not the needles, because hazardous, but all the empty vials, all the empty boxes, all of that kind of, he wanted to be kept because he wanted something done with them. And my daughter was given the task, so she came up with two things. One she did herself, the other one she collaborated with I think he was an art student with on it. So her one was a Pfizer vial. So she has made a Pfizer vial out of all the empty vials from the vaccination program. She sent me a link last week, once it was official on the website, with a link to the Wirral Globe, which I will put down below, which shows the artwork that she did. It's now in the Royal College of GPs in Euston Square in London. So if anybody's ever in that neck of the woods and would like to see it, off you go. So that's my proud mum moment. She worked really, really hard on this. She'd come home on a Monday covered in glue. Absolutely covered in glue, because that was what she was doing for quite I would say a good couple of months. Right. Really, I'm going to go on to plans. I'll leave my haul till last, because I know some people don't like haul. They're not interested in it. Personally, I like it because I'm nosy. I like to see what people have bought. And once in a while, not very often, but once in a while, I get enabled. Excuse me, I need a drink. My blue drink as ever. Got told off for not having it. Right, plans. I'm going to keep doing 25 stitches a day on a project. I'm going to go with this one next. I really don't have that much left to do. I've got this arm, her head, this one needs finishing, her wings, and I need to finish the pins. So I'm going to say I'm going to do 25 stitches a day on her, with the hope that I can get her finished by Christmas. And here's how she looks. That's how she looked last time you saw her as well, because I haven't done anything on her since I did the stitching challenge. There we go. And say there's not that much really. So hopefully 25 stitches a day will get her finished by the end of the year, and I can tick another one off the list. I'm also going to start a new Love Quilt Square. This is from a very old issue of Jill Oxton's Cross Stitch and Beading. I found in a charity shop in Warrington for the grand sum total of 50p. And I bought him thinking, do you know what? I'm going to get that, because that elephants pop up, you know, a couple of times a year. I thought he's gonna look really nice on a square. So I bought it, and about 6 weeks later, it popped up. So I thought, I know I can do that one. So that's my next start, which I will be making a start on tomorrow. Hopefully he will be finished by my next video, which will be the 17th of December. would normally have been the 10th, but I'm taking my grandsons to a Christmas party that day, so I won't have time. And I did say that at some point I'd have to do a 3-week one to over the Christmas festivities. And right, so my last planned start is a long dog, St. George's. I'll show you the fabric and thread in a minute in my haul bit. This is my first long dog. Stitchy Sally mentioned she was starting her first long dog, and I'm like, I'd actually been thinking about starting pandemic, and so I'm like, oh, okay, I can do that. I'll join in with that. So there's a hashtag of my first long dog. Ellie Welly Stitcher is also doing one. Let's get the dogs out. And there are quite a few other people that are going to be doing a long dog, but I couldn't tell you their names. They're not ones that I am familiar with. But I will find out that information and put it in the link below, so you can see who else is taking part in it. So that's it for plans. So on to haul. So I went to Harrogate's Knitting and Stitching show last week. I was there to man the sparkly stand. I always go up on the Saturday to help her on the stand. And then when it quietens down later in the day, I get to go out and have a browse around. So I wandered past Aurifil. Now I don't know if you know, but Aurifil do actually do a version of stranded cotton. So I was having a look and I got a free sample of it. There we go. They have loads of freebies on their site. One of them is a Merry Christmas one, but I've never used this, and I thought, I was a bit reluctant because I thought about, you know, it's quite an expensive one. I thought, if I don't like it, pardon me. But when I found out they had free samples, I got a free sample. So there we go. So if I get chance, I'm going to see if I can find some little freebie that I've got upstairs in my stash. I'm sure I've got something that I can try Aurifil thread on it. And if I like it, then I'd be more willing to spend about £40 for one of the thread packs for one of their freebies. So there we go. I bought a couple of hoops for finishing. I got two this size, but one of them, as I said, was my little snowman. So I've got a 4-inch and a 3-inch. I bought some sulky. I was trying to find one for pandemic. So I've got a palish green. It's like a minty green. It's quite a nice colour. I got a grey, because I know something that I want to do in the future is grey. And while I'm stood there looking at it, I'm thinking, why didn't you think and pull out the DMC and do a conversion? Why? But it never occurred to me. But it can wait, isn't it? And I found this one. And I really liked this one, and I thought I could do pandemic in this. But the other reels they had of it were lighter. And I didn't like the lighter reels as much. I did prefer this darker one. So I bought these from Barn Yarns. So maybe next year when I go, I can possibly pick up more darker ones. Excuse the nail. I chipped it earlier on. They're due to be done on Tuesday. So I do like it, but like I say, the other one was they were all paler and I didn't like that very much. I bought myself some piece of Christmassy fabric. I want to have an attempt at making a project bag. And I like that fabric. It wasn't expensive. And I bought lots of bits and pieces, but I can't share them because they're for a Christmas gift. I got 4 cards of this lovely paint box silk. which is, doesn't really have a number on it. This is the colour I'm going to use for my long dog. It's lovely. I love working with her threads. I have used her silks in the past. So that's my thread for my long dog. I should have taken this out. I do apologise for the crinkling. I know a lot of you that use earphones don't like it. And this is my fabric. This is blue lace agate, 36 count from Sparklers. Take it out. I'm really sorry about the crinkly. I didn't think to take it out beforehand. Let me see if I put my board behind it, see if the colour improves. I know it's a brown board, but that's a bit better. There we go. So that is my fabric and thread choice for my St. George long dog. I'm hoping to get that started this next week. So when I do my video in December, there should be some progress to share. Maybe not be much. Normally I start in the middle, but this time I am going to try cornerstone. I bought myself a chart from Luminous Fibre Arts. This is from Trudy Ann Designs, but if I remember rightly, her husband is Jeff P. Smith on eBay. She had this stitched up and I saw it and I'm like, I love that. Have you got it? I got the last copy. Oh, I just absolutely adored it. I love anything that's sort of stitching related. So that I hope I can get done beginning of next year. I've got a bit too much on to finish this year. And my last piece that I can share, I bought a kit. I don't normally buy kits. But come on, it's a sunflower. I can't not buy a sunflower. I saw it and I was like, oh my God, I love that. So it's a full kit. So I got that and I promptly went back to Kate at Sparklers, back to the stand. And I'm like, I want a piece of fabric. It comes with Ada. Don't do Ada. So I've got a piece of Tempting, I can't remember. It's one of the newer colours. On order. I'm in no rush for it, so it doesn't matter. So I can stitch myself a sunflower. I do love my sunflowers. I tell you that every time. Love sunflowers. Every time. Can't help that. So there we go. So that was my final purchase. My lovely, lovely sunflower, which I will stitch on different fabric. When it arrives, I will share it with you. I've got a few other things on the way that I have not, they haven't arrived, but apart from my Caterpillar subscription box, I haven't paid for the other two. Well, I have paid postage for one, but I can tell you about them because they should be here. I've had no post all week, which is probably why they're not here. I'm guessing my post lady's on her holidays. When she's on her holidays, we don't get a cover postman or post lady. So there we go. So that's it for today. 4 attempts. A visit off the cat. Hello. Don't come back. There we go. This is my Lizzie. So named because we got her not long after the Queen passed. She was called Princess originally and we decided that no, we didn't like that name. So we called her Lizzie. Yeah, she's a big softie. Daft as a brush. I can see her being one of those cats that climbs the Christmas tree. Rosie's never bothered with it, my old girl. She's 13, Rosie. She's sitting there looking at me going, "You talking about me again, Mum?" But I can see Lizzie being one of those cats that climbs the Christmas tree. That's not going to go down well if she does. She didn't bother with it last year, but we'd only had her a couple of months at the time. She was still a baby and she was still finding her feet and getting used to walls and all of that kind of thing, because as I say, when we got her, she was tiny. She'd fit on the palm of my hand, and I've only got little hands. Right, so anyway, that's it. That's done. Attempt number 4 appears to have been successful. There's been no technical hitches. There's been no phone calls, which was one of the ones that stopped me. So I will be back on, all being well anyway, the 17th of December, which is 3 weeks today. So hopefully by then I'll have a fair bit of progress to show you on different things, and I would love to have a finish on the elephants, because that's due Boxing Day. But that's a lot easier stitch than the giraffes. Not that I've not enjoyed the giraffes, but they're very bitty. You know, it's sort of half a dozen stitches here, half a dozen stitches there, half a dozen. So I'm jumping all over the place, whereas the elephants got more block kind of stitching in it, which means it'll go a bit quicker. So hopefully, yeah, that'll be done. I'll have started my long dog by then. If you're really lucky, I'll have my stitch buttons made up. Like I say, I'm not a finisher. I'm much more of a get it stitched, pardon me, and then decide what you're going to do with it at some point in the future. Like my little FFO last time, that had been finished, I don't know how long. Right, so I'm going to go. I will get this uploaded as quickly as I can. I will get all the links put down below. I will find out who else is doing the long dog stitch along. And I will see you in 3 weeks. So take care of yourselves. Stay well. And happy stitching. Bye.